We're making a luxuriously creamy and healthier pistachio chocolate ice cream without an ice cream maker. Inspired by the famous Dubai chocolate bars, it's full of protein and incredible flavor with cottage cheese, pistachios, tahini, avocado, and a little protein powder. Hello, my name is Nicole Bonilla, and if you love healthier recipes to our favorite foods, then you are in the right place. Now you're welcome to jot down these ingredients as we go along, or you can click on the link that's in the video description below, and that will take you to the full recipe with all the details, including nutrition facts, ingredients and substitutions, and frequently asked questions. Now to make this really easy ice cream, all you need is a high-speed blender or even a food processor. And then we're going to start by adding 1.5 cups of cottage cheese. And you can use large curd, small curd, low fat, non-fat, whatever your preference. I like to use the full fat for the most creaminess. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of milk, and I'm using almond milk. You could use any milk that you like. And for some natural sweetness, we're adding 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And then to give it a protein burst as well as some additional flavor, we're adding 1/4 cup of some vanilla protein powder. And this is my favorite brand because it's organic and naturally sweetened, and we really like the flavor of it. And I did include a link in the description below if you'd like to check it out. And to bring in some of that Dubai chocolate flavor, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of tahini. But you can also use almond butter or cashew butter if you prefer, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Next we can add our pistachios, and I'm just going to add 1/4 cup right into the blender. Now you will want to make sure that these are shelled before you add them. And then to add a little bit more creaminess as well as some healthy fats and a little bit more luxurious flavor, we're going to add 1/2 of an avocado. So I'm just going to take my spoon and scoop it right in. But of course you could omit this if you prefer. And then to make sure the avocado doesn't brown when this is frozen, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of either lime or lemon juice. Then to add a little bit more of that green color naturally and in a way that you won't taste, we're just adding about 1/2 cup of some green spinach leaves. But you could also omit these if you prefer and add just a little bit of green food coloring if you still want a little bit more vibrant green color. And then we're just going to put on our lid, and then we'll blend this on high until it is smooth and creamy. So after about a minute, we have this perfectly smooth and creamy ice cream base. And now's a really good time to take a little sample and see if it's sweet enough for you. I think that tastes perfect, but you could certainly add a little more maple syrup if you'd like it to be a little bit sweeter. Now to have the chocolate added to the ice cream, you can either just drop in some chocolate chips, or you can melt it down like we're going to do so you can have some ribbons of chocolate going throughout the ice cream. So I just have about 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips, and then I'm adding 2 teaspoons of coconut oil. And then I'm just going to put this in the microwave, set it for 30 seconds, take it out, stir it real quick, and then put it in for an additional 30 seconds until it is smooth and melted. So after the first 30 seconds, it's just starting to melt, so I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and then put it in for an additional 30 seconds. So after our second round of 30 seconds, this is perfect. So we'll just stir it for a minute until it all incorporates. And then last but not least, we're going to chop down a few pistachios so we can sprinkle them on top of the ice cream. So I've just taken a few here on my cutting board, and I'll just go through and give them a real nice light rough chop. Now to assemble the ice cream, you'll want to use a shallow dish because then the ice cream will set up a lot quicker. So I'm just going to pour our ice cream mixture right into my dish, and then I'll just quickly spread it out. And then we can just drizzle the chocolate right over the top. Now to make it so we get those ribbons of chocolate going throughout the ice cream, I'm going to take a small spoon, and I'm just going to go in and just kind of gently kind of fold the ice cream over. So I'm just going to kind of flip it over so some of that chocolate gets down inside the ice cream. But I don't want to stir it together too much because I want to maintain a separation between the chocolate color as well as the green. Now, if you could use more healthy inspiration on a regular basis, I invite you to join my email list. All you have to do is click on the link in the video description below, and that is the best way for us to stay connected. And now that we've gently worked the chocolate down into the ice cream, I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle our chopped up pistachios right on top. And this is going to add a really nice crunchy texture. Well, this looks gorgeous, and it's ready to go into the freezer to set. And it will take probably between about 2 hours to 4 hours, depending on how deep your dish is. Well, here's one that I made yesterday, and it is so beautiful. Now, one thing that is unique about cottage cheese ice cream versus traditional ice cream is that it is going to freeze solid if it's left in the freezer more than about 4 hours or overnight. But that is okay. All you have to do is let it sit on your counter for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it will gradually thaw until it's the perfect consistency for scooping and enjoying. And then I can come in with my ice cream scoop. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Nice and creamy, but still firm. And we have those ribbons of chocolate running throughout it. It's time for a sample. Wow, that is divine. That is seriously so delicious. As soon as you bite in, you just instantly get those really rich and creamy flavors. I love the little bit of tahini that is in there, and the pistachios blended into the ice cream as well as crunchy on top are so good. And then you get those ribbons of chocolate running through that are such a good complement to the ice cream. And I love that subtle kind of cheesecakey flavor that the cottage cheese brings to it. But what I love most is that it's made with clean, natural ingredients, which means I'm gonna feel just as good even after I eat it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. I've included the link to the full recipe and it's in the video description below, and that will take you to my website, gentletommie.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I cannot wait to have you join me again in my kitchen.